kidnap the like button and bring him to wherever your home planet is considered to be. Over the next decade, brainwash it into turning against its home world. Shoutouts to Pikupa for being the first to find the stone hidden in Friday's video, and Gregory Boyan, who wasn't too far behind. Find it today and timestamp its location in the comments without editing it if you want a shout out next time.
Just what's happening with Mado? Ridiculous! His combat strength is gradually increasing! Take this! What?
After taking yet another beating, Legic takes pride in what his short-time student has become. This is the first fight in a while he's had so much fun.
Second attack! No way!
Leaving nothing but devastation, Mado descends to the surface of the planet. Getting a closer look, Legic has clearly been defeated. Though that isn't enough for the enraged Saiyan. Picking him up by the throat, he moves in for the finishing blow. With no sympathy in his eyes, and the life fading from his mentors. Abruptly, Mado comes to his senses, realizing the state Legic is in. And he also falls to the dirt, causing Base to rush over to help his friends. First making sure Mado is okay, he informs he plans to heal the both of them right away, when a weak voice calls out for the Namekian. Legic isn't done, though greatly winded and wounded. Looking over to the warrior, he scowls. He told him not to interfere, kicking him out of the way. He turns his focus back to the Saiyan, who is barely conscious. The alien claims this is only the beginning, and the real fight is about to start. Bringing us full circle, we find our warrior where this installment began.
This is the end, Mado. What a useless struggle! Burst open! What?
Gazing up to the sky, Legic frantically demands to know the meaning of this light. Though as he turns around, the answer makes itself more clear than mere words ever could. Unaware of this technique, Legic wonders how this is possible, as there isn't a full moon anywhere in sight. Stunned by the presence of the behemoth before him, though it takes no time for him to catch on, realizing the key Mado hurled past him is acting as the perfect substitute.
Be gone!
Successfully removing it from the equation, the mentor rests assured that now he will return to normal, maybe even a bit winded if he's lucky. But just as his training with Turles, the Great Ape remains the same, as the effects of the fake moon linger a few minutes versus a natural satellite. Roaring to the heavens above, Legic continues to find himself more and more impressed by this kid, taking solace in his potential.
I'm not finished with you! Not yet! This fight hasn't been decided!
Tears forming in the monster's eyes. Again, Mado's humanity breaks through as the effects of the Blutz waves finally begin to lessen. Back in his normal form, his teacher lies completely still. No energy left himself. The pair both cease movement. Fortunately, it's short-lived. The alien opens his eyes, though rather groggily. Before him, the Saiyan and Namekian. Given the damage done to both warriors seems to be gone, it's safe to assume Base finally succeeded in healing the duo and confirming his plan of a suicide mission. He mutters it appears he has been saved, alive again. Alive to continue to live a life of disgrace. Though a student argues it's not disgraceful at all. If it wasn't for him, Mato wouldn't have been able to obtain this strength. Clearly not used to encouragement, Legic balks. The boy goes on to tell, his dream is to not let the death of his parents, an entire village, go in vain. His mission is to get stronger so if they were still alive, he could protect them. Although defeating Frieza won't bring them back, it will at least count for something, or save somebody else. If he views his dream as nothing more than revenge, inevitably, the dream will come to an end, leaving him empty. Similar to how his master here feels, who only listens silently. Stating even if he has nothing left to live for, he's still alive and has time to change that, calmly asking his teacher to please continue to live and pursue a dream once again. Seeming to be touched by these words, Legic replies for him to do the same, if the time comes. As our heroes board their ship to leave for the next world, we have to reflect on Mato's statement of not being able to resurrect his loved ones. If only he knew. The Dragon Ball, now altering from 3 stars to 2, the pair are led to their next adventure, calling for the Namekian it's time to leave. He turns to his teacher, avowing his debt to the warrior, who only informs Frieza's army is no match for the Saiyan now. So, he should be sure to take care of Frieza himself while he's at it. Mato promises to do so, and report back here afterwards to let him know. Turning to head off, his mentor calls out to him one last time, offering a final sign of approval. Back where we found him in the first place, Legic enjoys a well-earned drink, whether it's simply a good mix or merely the events prior influencing his experience. He compliments the bartender. This may be the most delicious drink he's ever had. The old-timer is merely happy to see his best customer in a positive mood for a change. Lowering his glass, he asks if he has any good stories tonight. It would be nice to hear a tale while enjoying his alcohol, which the Dogman does have one, beginning the story of a rich guy on this planet. In space, Base stoically turns to his friend, supposing the time has come, hasn't it? And exactly as serious, Mato confirms it has. Not far away, a few of Frieza's soldiers have dropped down on the unfortunate world below. Looking close, they are the same who slaughtered our hero's village, Raizu, Barrowa, and Puddin. Barrowa, seeming to have regained some of his arrogance, chuckles the 3 of them really are quite amazing. Though the confidence at least doesn't go completely undeserved, as the trio were recently selected to become Frieza's raid army. Not only that, but handpicked by the tyrant himself, offering a bow reliving the moment aloud. Though Puddin, the strongest of the group, isn't at all thrilled by the honor. In his head, it only seems like more trouble. Raizu optimistically reminds, they and their entire families are on Easy Street from now on. Being in Frieza's good graces, no one would ever dare cross him. Barrowa mentions it would be nice to settle down one of these days. As far as Raizu's statement goes, it's almost as if a certain Saiyan's ears were burning. The gang only stares at the ship for the time being. On one hand, confused what it's doing touching down here, but on the other, are apathetic, believing how untouchable they are. The seconds feel like eternity to Frieza's men, believing it could be reinforcements for some reason, but from here they can't even identify what kind of ship it is, so they decide to get a closer look. However, it wouldn't be long before the visitors made their presence known. A feeling of intensity swells within Mato, while Base experiences something completely different. These trees, the water, the grass. This place seems familiar for some reason. With his eyes on their goal, the Saiyan explains this is where they've been instructed to land, not even knowing what that may mean himself. But he isn't the only one about to obtain the answers he seeks, spotting 3 figures closing in. The reason the Dragon Ball brought them here is now obvious, and it has been a while now since these 2 groups met. Neither have forgotten the other. Though not immediately clicking with the weaker 2, Puddin is curious how the Saiyan managed to survive. Touching down to have a little conversation, he questions that very thing, leaving us to wonder, does Puddin have another secret hidden up his sleeve, or does Mato now truly outmatch him?